Every individual has a story, a mixture of scars and victories. No one can ever be fully prepared for life. No one can ever be fully prepared for the twists of fate. Coming to you on Your Women Radio 91.7 FM, Ton Okewale Shunaya will be engaging the ones that are bold enough to bear it all. Only on TounTalks, Sundays, 5 p.m. on Your Women Radio 91.7 FM.
Okay, so Fatou found strength to keep going every time life knocks her down. Fatou was abused. She was raped and betrayed, and Fatou worked tirelessly, battling mental health. But Fatou found the courage to chase her dreams while raising 6 children by herself. Having worked with women, that's myself, having worked with women fleeing domestic violence for about 20 years, I know that abuse doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, wrapped in the illusion of care, disguised as support, and wielded by those we trust the most. So Fatou got pregnant as a teenager and she battled mental health as a mother. She was vulnerable and she was searching for stability, and in her moment of need, she turned to a neighbor, a man who seemed to offer guidance. He gave her listening ears and what she thought was a safe space. But instead of finding comfort, she walked into a nightmare. What started as a counsel became control. What felt like support turned into abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, and financial. Fatou suffered in silence, unable to walk away, too scared to share her pain. And like many women, she tried to make it work, hoping things would change, believing love or fear or obligation would somehow make it better. Today on TounTalks, Fatou is bold enough to bear it all, to inspire and encourage. Oh, the dark moments, the battles with self-doubt, the invisible chains that held her back, and the courage it took to finally break free. TounTalks today is about survival, healing, and what it truly means to find strength beyond abuse. I am Ton Okewale Shunaya, and this is TounTalks. My dear Fatou, how are you today?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good. It's warm, but Nigeria is a lovely place. And I hear the weather is how is the weather like?
It's cold. I haven't been out throughout the day, but it's very cold. The heating is on as I'm talking right now.
Freezing cold.
Yes.
You need to come to Nigeria, Fatou. You need to come to Nigeria and experience the warm weather, the warmth of the Nigerian people, right?
Yes, I will.
So if you are in Lagos or and Ogun State, please tune in to 91.7 FM on your radio. We are Women Radio, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. And if you're listening from anywhere else in the world, we live stream at WFM917.com. TounTalks is also live on YouTube at Women Radio 917. Women Radio 917, where you can also drop your comments and questions. And you can also give us a call or send your thoughts on our phone lines that will be scrolling on the YouTube channel. Fatou.
Yes, please.
I want you to I want you to um, tell us when you first realized that you had been abused. Take us through your story.
Um, my story started when I was just coming from an abusive relationship, and I had this neighbor. We both live in the same flat, so he would come, he would talk to me like, "Oh, you shouldn't be going through this kind of abuse." So I was comfortable with that in the beginning, and sometimes he would come, he would talk, he would stay like a bit long and leave like as it's getting darker, which is the normal thing. And unfortunately, this person that was now I've been seeing like a counselor, like calming me down, did the worst to me. And he came one day, and I knew that it was getting late, but I was too shy to ask him why you not leaving. But I just said, okay, maybe just want to stay. And I went to my bedroom to pick up something. This person followed me and pushed me. That's where all it started. So it started with rape. And after that, my whole life changed. My whole life changed because I couldn't like leave. I don't know what to say. And he's not a stranger to me. And I was so vulnerable. I can't even tell people that this person has done this to me. So it continues. So people start seeing me and him now together. So what people think, oh, yeah, the two neighbors, friends, they become lover. But they didn't know how that love started, where it was like a genuine love, where somebody just meets somebody, oh, I want you. No, it was not like that. It started that way. And being in that situation was one of the most difficult time for me. And it takes me a very, 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 very long time to realize what I was going through. It was abuse. It was not right. And after that session, like for many years, I keep blaming myself for everything.
You so um the culture of silence is one that keeps one trapped. And I know that the stigma that follows those who dare to speak out is a huge one. I say this because I used to work with an organization called Housing for Women. And I know that a lot of women stay in abusive relationships, and I hear people say, but why did she stay? Why are you there? You said you couldn't leave. I want to ask you, I know some of the reasons why women
Yeah.
stay in abusive relationships, but quite a number of people do not know. They're judgmental. I want to ask you, what kept you silent for so long? And what finally, maybe I should ask, what kept you silent for so long?
The thing that kept me silent, first of all, the person that abused me was not a stranger. It has to do also with shame and guilt. And it was very difficult for me. And I let it go on for a long time. And even I became pregnant from that relationship, and I had a child. And I think probably this person would change. I was not open to anyone, not even professional. I can't tell them that this was going on. And eventually, a big fight went where, like, every day, like beating, destroying my stuff. And I was in the house, like the only thing that would keep me busy is my television. And he knows I love watching television. I was this series those days I used to watch. It's called The Bold and Beautiful, and there's another one called As the World Turns. So one day he met me watching the TV and break the TV, and the neighbor had the sound. So when the neighbor had the sound, they have to call. They have to call the police. So by the time the police came, he left. And even when I went to the women refuge, I've been in a women refuge. When I went to the person that abused me was not a stranger. I didn't have to do also. I was open about the physical abuse. The sexual part, I haven't spoke about it. Neither with professionals. I was more comfortable talking about the physical side because I'm sure the girls, oh, they sexually abuse you, but you went on and have a baby. You went on, you stayed there. So those things were preventing me, like, to talk about it more. And after I left the women refuge, I think not long, he abused someone again, but I didn't know. That was it. So all I get from the women refuge is, okay, we are letting you go home. Do you want to be in the same house? I said yes. But okay, we will get all your furnitures back, all the things he has break. And they warned me strictly, if I ever be in contact with this person, my child will be taken away from me. You understand? So it's later I find out from his friend that after my incident, he went and sexually abused someone, and it was a minor, and he was caught and he was sent to jail. Yes, but even at that time, I couldn't talk about the sexual one. Was like, for me, it was something I kept to myself. I was only able to talk about it when he passed away. That's when I freely able to tell people. But when they talk about his own sexual abuse to other people, I never deny it. I never defend it. I would just tell them probably somehow true, because I knew mine. He did the same thing to me.
So Fatou,
Yeah.
you know, the training we get is never to judge. No one will judge your belief. This is the time you want to tell your story, and it's fine. Your story can be told anytime. Two things I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
Why did you wait till he died before you were able to talk about what he did to you?
Because I have a child.
The other question I would have said is, if he was still alive, would you still not? Would you still have kept silent? So why did you wait till he died?
I wait till he died because everybody knew about the physical abuse. The sexual one was something I couldn't talk. It's something I kept to myself. And I asked myself the same question you're asking me. I've been asking myself, was I stupid? What's wrong with me? Was I in the kind of, I don't know how you call it, the Stockholm syndrome type of person? You know, there are many things that comes into me. And I think one of the things too that makes me notice, because I have a girl child with him. So when I looked at my daughter and the way my daughter was growing up, and I said that if really open about this, what damage is he going to do to her? Because at some point, I remember when he was in prison, when he left, because my daughter kept asking me, I want to see my dad. So he went. So when he went, we couldn't enter inside. They took us to another place. And he told her, like, he was like kind of abused too in the prison. So when we came back, it affected my daughter. It affected her mental health. And she was saying, when I grow up, I'm going to be a lawyer, and I'm going to make sure whoever abused my dad in the prison to pay for this. But in my mind, I said, what comes around goes around, because I cannot, like, tell her, do you know your dad did? I don't even know where to start, because the longer I've kept it, it for me, it's like, how is it going to affect my daughter? Who is going to believe me? As I said previously, all those things. Yeah.
So, do you not think you were condoning him? He so he went to prison because he
Yes.
abused a minor.
Yeah, the minor,
Exactly what he did to you, but he was a minor, right? And
I was over 18. Yeah, he went to prison for 2 counts, because the first one, when he abused the minor, I think they didn't have much evidence, but he had a girlfriend, which is a white lady, where he did the same thing to that person. Then he was sent for a very, very long time in prison. Yes.
So now, what I want to get at is,
Yeah.
you didn't tell your daughter. You didn't tell his daughter. The daughter that out of the rape. Did your daughter come out of a rape?
I can say kind of, yes.
Okay.
Because
right.
I went in, that relationship was not a formal relationship.
Okay.
It was a rape relationship. Then I fell in love with the abuser. So at the same time, I think there was a time I was not blaming him. I was blaming myself. And that affected my mental health, because I think I let those things happen to me.
I see. So
yeah,
this is a man that you fell in love with. He raped you. Am I right in the comment I made? Because I don't want to make assumptions.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So this is a man you fell in love with, and he raped you. Because it would be difficult for the typical black African man to understand that rape can happen in a relationship. No is no, right?
Yes.
And a lot of our men and our brothers just find it difficult to understand. So you were in love with this person.
Yes.
He raped you.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
I cannot use the word. At that time, maybe it's in love, but if I go back to what has happened, I don't think it was much of a love. I think it was me being very at a vulnerable stage. When somebody is so vulnerable, I think that's where I found myself.
Thank you. Now, the reason I'm to break this down is because, trust me, there are women and girls who have gone through what you've gone through, who are probably still in that situation, and they may not know. How old were you then, Fatou?
I was like about 19, going to 22.
Thank you. So you were a teenager, okay? How old was he? How old was he?
He was like maybe 3 or 4 years older than me.
Okay. So you did not tell your daughter. And when he went to prison, he requested to see that your daughter wanted to see the father. You still didn't tell. Got into prison. He told her, he'd been abused in prison. Don't you think you worked with him to tell a lie? He told a lie to your daughter, and she believed the lie.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I feel very bad, because in my mind, I know what is it. So I don't even know whether what he told his daughter, whether it's the truth. And that started affecting me, because my daughter keeps saying, oh, they did this to my dad. They did this to my dad. And I'm going to go after it. Once I've done this, I'm going to find out what has happened. So it's like my daughter telling me that also, I think, blocked me, like, from telling her my own part of the story. Because if somebody who is an abuser telling someone that they abuse them, if I'm going to come with my own abuse story? Is it going to make use? Is it going to impact? Is my daughter going to believe me? And when I see my daughter get so sad about the whole situation, then I just say, no, let me just don't open a can of worms. Just keep silence and deal with my pain.
Fatou, have you been able to now tell your daughter the true story? Have you been able to?
No.
So you know she may be listening.
Probably. She's not.
I know she's not, but this is on YouTube, and she may be listening. And you know, we have come a long way. I think about 18 years ago. Yes, she may. I want you to brace yourself up and be ready to tell your truth when the time comes, because you're still keeping a burden of a man who abused you. He's gone. He's dead, and you're still carrying that burden. So this is TounTalks on Women Radio 91.7. If you want to ask, drop any comments, talk to Fatou, please feel free to call all our numbers. They're on the YouTube at Women Radio 917. Fatou.
Yes, please.
As I told you, I wanted to ask you two questions. And I want to go back to the one that you have actually spoken about, but I just still want you to address this, because it's a question that a lot of people who are listening are going to be asking.
Okay.
Give me the two reasons that kept you in that abusive relationship. Give me two reasons that kept you there. I mean, from the little I did with Housing for Women, I can, in London, you know, Housing for Women in London, I could mention three reasons from the interviews we have done. But from you, give me two reasons, the two reasons that kept you in that abusive relationship.
I think it's shame and guilt of me allowing that to happen to me. Yeah.
Shame and guilt.
Yes.
But you know, what we say is, you didn't cause it. It wasn't you. You can't be guilt tripping yourself over somebody else's action. The shame is that we need to get the community, the society, the men listening, the women listening, the children listening, everybody listening, that the victim should never be shamed. If there's one person that we need to shame, is the perpetrator. It is the abuser, the perpetrator. And I'm just hoping that anybody that is listening will never feel that shame, because you can die. We just saw on the internet a couple of, maybe in the last 24, 48 hours, a woman that died in an abusive relationship. And the statistics keep, the data keep going up. Women die in this relationship. So if you're listening, please do not let shame keep you in a relationship that could take your life. And don't feel guilty for the man. You want to speak to women on that, Fatou?
Yeah, I want to speak to the women that, first of all, I would touch in, like what I said, it was shame. But at that time, that what I was feeling. But at this time, out of lots of experience, I've seen everything. I would advise women, if you are going through an abuse, don't be ashamed to talk about it. Don't find somebody very close you can confide in and let them know, because it's not only affecting you, it affects the people around you, which you might not take notice of. If you have children, it might affect your children. If you don't have children, it might even affect yourself and the people who are looking up to you. So it's better always like to talk about it, and we should break the stigma of it, like, because it causes mental health problem. For an African people, once they hear the word mental health, the first thing they think, he's mad, she's mad. No, everyone has mental health, everyone, but something has to happen and triggers it. So being in an abusive relationship obviously can trigger your mental health.
I mean, Fatou, let me ask you that question. Did the abusive relationship trigger your mental health?
Yes, exactly. Triggers it a lot. And I even developed PTSD from that, post-traumatic stress disorder, which I'm dealing with. But as I told you in the beginning, I'm a very strong person, and everything I've been through, they tend to break me, but I don't let them break me. I always learn things from every experience. Anytime something happens to me, I take something valuable from that. And that's what has been kept me going. And I always say to myself, this has happened to me. Yes, but there are people that the worst has happened to. So I don't have to kill myself, break myself because of that. I just hold myself tight and just give myself all the support I needed to myself here.
All right. So I'm going to talk about support next, but before I do, if you this is TounTalks on Women Radio 91.7 FM. If you would like to speak to Fatou, the toll-free number for women is 0800 123 5917. You can call the studio live at 07000 917 917. The other numbers, SMS, they are scrolling on YouTube. If you would like to talk to us, talk to Fatou. Fatou, you spoke about support, and the question I want to ask you is, where was your mom? Did you speak to mom? Is there a dad? Talk to dad? Family, friends, community?
No, I know a bit about the domestic violence I went through, but I've not been really like open. But I've been open, like telling if professionals how I feel, how it makes me feel. And I have a close friend which I can confide in. I can tell her exactly what happened without being judgmental, because in from where we come from in the African background, sometimes maybe it has to do with cultural or religion or something. Sometimes bringing up topic like this to your family, the way they will see it is quite different, and I don't want, like, if I start talking, for somebody to start opening the whole wound and asking me questions. Oh, why did you put yourself in this? Oh, you have this. People have asked me that.
I'm going to interrupt you, because if we are telling people to talk and not go through this alone, and I'm wondering, at 19, when this started, talk to your mother. Why didn't you talk to his sister? Why didn't you talk to your father? I know you said he's a neighbor, he's known, and I know we're not talking about 5-10 years ago. And I know how it is. Tell me the reason why you didn't talk to them then.
I won't talk to my parents because, first of all, I was not brought up by my parents.
Okay.
So I've spoken to other close family members who I trusted. I was not brought up by them. So I've only been like going holidays to my parents. So those things also have kept me not to talk, because they won't understand me. So I was open to other people. You understand? I did seek help. I did seek professional help. I tell the people that think that if I explain to them, they will understand exactly where I'm coming from and everything. But just explaining to my parents that they didn't grow me up, for myself, I just think it's a whole long way. You understand?
Okay. So Fatou, now, at that age, 19, I'm saying this because, see, there are a lot of young girls out there. Age 16, 17, 18, 19, even mature women, but young girls who are going through abuse at the age you went through this, at age 19. Because we need to let them know that what is happening to them is not right. He smacks you, he slaps you, or he puts you down, or he makes you feel uncomfortable every time you're in his presence. He makes you feel uncomfortable. He says things, you know, because abuse comes in different ways. You know, he pushes you out to go get money, go and work, go get money, and all of those. Because we need to let the girls know, the young girls know, that it is not right. So at that age 19, when this happened to you, fine, mom and dad were not there. They did not raise you. The people around you at that time. I'm asking you this because I have an idea, but I want anybody who is in this situation, for you to be able to say, is the reason why I didn't talk then. This is the reason why I didn't seek help then. But in hindsight, I should have, or I want you to seek help. Why didn't you seek help at that time? At a very young age of 18, of 19. 19 is you're a baby.
I did seek help, especially when I went to the women refuge. I did have counseling. I did have a lot of support from the women group.
Good.
Just as I said, the only person I didn't is my parent, but I did have close people who are representing me, like family, that I was able to confide it with. Yeah.
Thank you. So what I'm trying to say now is, for anybody who is listening to this, right? If for whatever reason you find yourself anxiety because of a relationship, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, financial abuse, please just reach out to us, even at Women Radio. At Women Radio, we will direct you to the right person to go to. I don't want to talk about Lagos State Lola Bible's agency, because it's not just about Lagos State. Wherever you are, if you feel that you're going through this kind of experience and you don't know what to do, please reach out to us, and we would guide you on what you need to do. Now, Fatou.
Yes, please.
I know that abuse often leads to feelings, and we've spoken about this, feelings of shame and guilt. You said it. Those are the two things why you didn't want to talk. How did you confront the feelings and emotions of shame and guilt? And how did you learn to forgive yourself? Or at what point did you forgive yourself to say, you know what, I'm not going to be shamed anymore. I'm not going to guilt trip myself. At what point? And how did you manage those?
For me to reach that stage where I forgive myself and try to be who I am today, it was not an easy journey. It was a very, very, very long journey, because I say to myself today, I forgive myself, I've forgotten about it, but I keep having flashback. But I think from the time I turned 35, I'm going to 40, then I start realizing now to myself, like, it is what it is. This has happened. I cannot change the past, but I can use that past experience to talk to other people and to also make myself, because I cannot change what has happened. So from that time upwards now, I start I go for more counseling, I seek help, I talk more. Before, I never used to talk. I talk more how I feel about myself or other things that are around me or situation. I'm able to talk to people that I can confide in, to have a long chat and everything. So that has really helped me, strengthen me up. Yeah.
Fatou.
Yes.
Do you trust? Do you love? Can you love now? Can you love?
I can. Yes, I can.
You've because I think we're not scratching. We're just scratching. I know you. You have 6 children, and you raised these children on yourself. Please, somebody. How did you do it? What did you do? What did you do? How did you do it? You know, after all the struggles and the challenges and the abuse you went through, you still pursued a degree, and you have 6 children who are doing very well. I know what they're doing. You know, please Where did the strength come from?
I think the strength comes from me, myself. I think I'm a very strong person. And the step that I took to seek for professional help, I think if I have left myself bottle up all these emotions, it would have, I wouldn't be able to look after my children, because having those things in you bottled up, I don't care what you give to your children, but if you cannot express um and your reason for bringing those children to this world, you have nothing to offer them, it's going to be a problem for the children. So over the years, I look at my children is blessings, and I say to myself, what happened to me, I won't let it happen to my children. So I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make these children, I believe so much in education. So I'm going to make my children go to school. They have to learn. They have to strive for themselves. So I use my pain and everything I've been through. I said, no, I'm not going to fall down. I'm not going to, this make me look, I just sit down. Even though I have also health challenges, apart from the mental, I have physical health challenges. I don't let that bring me down. I try as much. I just worked on myself every day, and I'm still there. I'm still not finishing yet, because life alone is full of problems and different stuff. So if you say that you're going to have a life which is very peaceful, calm, you're not gonna have stress, no, it's impossible. So we will feel a lot of things in our life, stress, until the day we die. But you just have to have that strength, that perseverance. Don't give up in life, no matter what the situation is. Yeah, just always feel like there's someone in another place which is who are worse than you.
So, for me, the fact that you went to the women's refuge, you sought help.
Refugee. Yeah.
Excuse me. You sought help. Help came.
Yes.
Yes. What did you study again, Fatou? I have to ask you these questions. I know, but I want people to know
I
that
study psychosocial studies.
Where?
It's East London University. It's a psychology combined with sociology.
Okay. And I know that Fatou, you believed so much in education, because you once told me that education liberated you. You said education freed me.
Yes.
Education brought me to where I am today. And I know you believe so much in education, and I know your children are doing very well. I know. I know. No. Three of them are in the university. I know they're doing. Am I right?
They're graduates. Yes, they're graduates. Yeah.
And I know they're doing very well. They have fantastic jobs. The kind, the top 10 conglomerate organizations in the world. I know your kids are working there. And I just want to say you're such a strong woman. But
thank you.
I still want to take you back.
Yeah.
The man is dead now. He died.
Yes.
And he's gone.
Yes.
You're no longer in pain because you've addressed that. You've dealt with that.
Yes.
But you still chose to allow your daughter to have a memory, to have a positive memory of her father. If she finds out, what do you think would happen to your relationship with her?
I don't think something bad will happen to the relationship with her, because I've never told her, but I told her one day we're gonna have a talk, because the dad died during the COVID time, and she went through that grieving process, and I saw the way it was affecting her. But I know eventually at some point, just like you said, this is on YouTube. If she asks me, I will have an answer. And I will remind her, you remember when you always told me that your dad was abused, and I will just smile. And I'll tell her the reason why I will smile, because I have something I wanted to say, but it was not the right time for me to tell her at that time. Yeah.
Thank you, Fatou. The other thing I want to talk about is, did you, at any point in time, felt you cannot trust men after what you had gone through?
Yes, I felt that in the beginning. Yeah.
So there were trust issues.
Yeah, I have even even with my current relationships, I have big trust issue. But as our people always say, you cannot take somebody else's skin to beat another person. So, and I strongly believe that we are all different. It's not because Sammy did something to me, I have to think that everybody is like that. So I've learned also that not all body and not everybody going to treat me like the way the last person treat me. But at the same time, I'm very like conscious of my surrounding and who I date, what is around me. So I'm over like protective of myself and my relationship. But it's not like I don't trust, but to my past experience with men, I'm not just going to sit down in a relationship and I think, oh, everything is okay. But I've learned to trust gradually.
And I think you is understandable that you protect yourself. It's understandable that
my sanity is very important.
Your mental state, your well-being is quite important, and I is justifiable and understandable the way you feel, and I hope any man who is listening, who is in a relationship with a woman that had been abused, would be patient, and be patient to allow your partner to get to a state where you can be trusted. So it's like somebody who has cheated on you. I'm just using that as an example. And he's begged you and he's saying, let's move on. No, it doesn't work like that. There are stages, processes that you have to go through, and the person has to see that you really genuinely mean this. And so I'm saying this because I believe your partner is watching. I sent the link to him. I sent the link to him. He's watching. And so for me, it's about being patient with one another and allowing the healing process. I'm glad that you're loving again, because you see quite a number of women who had been battered. They've not even gone through half of what you had gone through, and they don't trust anymore. I want you to speak to that.
What you've just said is just like last week I was with a friend of mine on the phone. She went not even half of what I went through. So I was on the phone with her. She told me, oh, I can't move on again because my ex-partner has blocked the way for me to move on. So I used my experience to tell her, no, you need to move on. Forget about the past. Not everybody is like this. You understand? She didn't went through the physical abuse, but kind of more emotional. So what my advice I will give there out to women, and both men, because when we talk about abuse, both men too can go through it, is like, let that don't stop you from dating again. Yes, I know it will be difficult because there will be trust issues, And you there will be also where you can think, oh, is this person the right person for me? But just give it a go and protect your sanity whilst you are in that relationship, and do the right thing that requires for any relationship whilst you are protecting your own sanity too.
Okay. I want you to, because you spoke about shame and guilt not allowing you to leave. Shame and guilt
Yeah.
kept there. Now,
Yeah.
I want you to speak to women and girls who are currently in the situation you were years ago.
Yeah.
Who feel trapped. Some may not even know that they are trapped. But those who
Yes.
feel trapped, who are unable to leave, how can they
Yes.
find the strength to even take the first step that you took?
It's different from different parts of the world, and I would say I was lucky. What happened to me happened with me here in Europe, not in Africa. In Africa, it's a different setting where it's like different culture, religion background. So their own is more like more kind of difficult, because there are help out there recently due to social media, like women like you have your radio program making this awareness for people to talk more about their abuse. So my advice I will give these women out there, especially for the ones in Africa, like that, don't stay too long. Don't stay in the abuse. Let me don't use it, stay too long. The moment you feel like something is not right, if you are scared to talk to your parents, you can talk to an auntie. You can talk to somebody that you think will listen to you. Don't keep it long. Because if you keep it long and you stay there, you say, oh, if I go and talk, maybe they will not believe me because they are seeing me and this uncle or this person, just make that first step. You will find somebody that will believe you, that will take your matter serious,
So, just to reiterate what you have said,
Yeah.
for any woman or any girl who is going through any form of violence, physical, emotional, mental, financial, in an intimate relationship, please speak. Find somebody. Find somebody to talk. It could be you could just walk into or you could talk to the doctor. You could talk to the nurse. You can find somebody to talk to. It could be find somebody to talk to. In Europe, yes, in the US and the UK, it could be the police. In Nigeria, find somebody. There's so many NGOs around. Find somebody. Please, Women Radio at WFM 917 or projects at WFM 917. And the producer, Miracle, shared a number with me. I think this is the time I want to talk about this number. Please, this number, it's a WhatsApp line, 08155 917 917. If you want to send a message to us from outside Nigeria, you do +234 8155 917 917. If you are living in Nigeria, the number again, 08155 917 917. Anywhere in the 36 states of Nigeria, please send a message to us. We will definitely work with you. Work with so many, NGOs that will hold your hand and support you. We will definitely do that. Fatou.
Yes.
Okay, you wanted to say something. Go on.
Yeah. What I said previously, like you can contact somebody you trust, like Women FM, NGOs. I didn't mention the police because I'm taking right there to the ones in Africa, because I don't know how much awareness the police know about abuse, because sometimes they themselves, when you go and report, they don't tend to take people cases serious. So I think the best people to get in touch with all these women, NGOs and doctors, your maybe neighbor or somebody you can trust with, and different organizations who are there to fight for people who are going through abuse. So I think if you contact them, they will be able to have a proper link to the police. But going to the police directly, it depends on the country you are living and what awareness, what training the police there have to believe whatever you're going to tell them.
I mean, I can talk about Nigerian police, and I know that the Nigerian police have had series of trainings, workshops, different agencies have worked with the Nigerian police. In fact, they have they have the women desk at some police stations. But having said that, some policemen and women are still not as informed, and you hear things like, nobody did I mean, you hear them just kind of condemn you and make you feel bad, but as I said, the first port of call for me would be there will be somebody in the community that you can talk to, so sure you talk to them. Fatou, my dearest friend, we've known for 18 years, and I know the kind of support you've given me as well. The kind of emotional support you've given me as well. You are such a strong woman, and I just want to thank you, Fatou, from the bottom of my heart, for sharing your story of finding strength beyond, because the kind of strength you have found beyond abuse is amazing. Your courage to speak out, to heal and move forward is such an inspiration. You've just shown us that no matter how deep the wounds are, there is always the possibility of reclaiming your joy and your life. Your story, Fatou, reminds us that strength comes from vulnerability and from choosing to take the next step, even if it's hard. I'm going to give you the next 1-2 minutes. So okay. Message out and say whatever you want to say. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can take a break.
No, just say what you want to say. I just want you to say something.
Okay.
We have about 2 minutes to go on the program. So
what I want to say, in conclusion of everything we have spoken about, is no matter what the situation is, try to be strong. Don't give up. I know there are times it will be very difficult. It depends where you are, the world, but don't give up. I'm not saying that you're not going to have flashbacks. There are days where it's so cloudy, you're going to be thinking about the past. As you can see, when the start of this video, when I start talking about my abuse, I start shivering, but because I'm sitting down, no one could see it. My left foot was shaking because it's taking me back to where I was. But through talking of it, I let it out. I've become more relieved, and I'm still working on myself, and I'm not giving up, and I'm not ashamed anymore. Like what I said in the beginning, during that time, that was preventing me. But now I'm able to talk about it. That's why I'm here. And nobody forced me to come here and talk about it. I willingly want to share my experience. And I hope my experience will make a lot of people who are hidden in this same kind of abuse will be able to come and share their experience without being scared, without feeling guilt, without feeling shame. Just go for the help because you need it. You need it. You shouldn't stay in any abusive relationship for even for a second.
My dear Fatou,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for talking. Thank you for the audacity to come and talk about this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to do this again. So,
Okay.
there's a cousin of mine, Fulola Shonubi, who mentioned to me that she does a lot of counseling for women in the church. She says she told me that there are a lot of women who are smiling but suffering. The suffering is too much. And when she she's in Nigeria at the moment to kind of create awareness for the initiative, and I think that is a fantastic initiative because you really don't get people doing this in the church. She's a wife of a pastor, and we really do not get people doing this in the church. And I'm just so happy that she's doing this. You want to say something? I'll give you 30 seconds because we have a program.
I want to say something. My experience has also helped me. One of my previous job I've done in the past, I work with women who have gone through domestic abuse. And when I went for that interview, there was not a lot of question because as the manager started talking to me, he knows I know about abuse so much. So there's certain thing in the interview, he didn't let me go through it. And I got the job.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fatou. Thank you. So wherever you're listening from, this is a call to action. Do not let fear or shame silence you. Your truth, your truth. Whenever and wherever you choose to speak, your truth is your truth. Embrace love, embrace healing, and remember that it's okay to rebuild at your own pace. So if you are going through any form of abuse or trauma, you're not alone. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to speak up, and it's okay to start anew. You deserve to heal and to live a life free from pain. TounTalks is our space for honest conversations where we embrace life lessons to shape our choices and perspectives, to strengthen our relationships, and to make every moment worth living. If you want to tell your story on TounTalks, please email projects@wfm917.com. And please share this episode to encourage someone. Action. TounTalks, Sundays 5 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7 FM. My name is Tomo Kewali Shonaya. Enjoy the rest of the day. My dear Fatou, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Bye.